amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed. Whenever you look my video, whenever you watch my video, share the video to all platforms. Share it to family and friends. Share it in your WhatsApp group so that people can get information on what is happening in the contraption called Nigeria, mainly against the Biafrans, against the Duduas, against the indigenous people in the contraption called Nigeria. I try as much as possible to set the record straight. I don't preach hate speech. I don't speak against people. I set the record straight. The only important thing I do here is to make sure that the plight of the people remains on the front burner and the world will know the true story of what is going on in the contraption called Nigeria.
The Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff and Cattle Dealers Association of Nigeria on February the 18th wrote the federal government seeking a payment of 4.75 billion naira as compensation for its members over losses incurred during the NSAS protests and the Shasha crisis. And they also demanded the pushing of a blockade and also other foreign or state agencies that were on the road, putting a hindrance to them going through with their foodstuff delivery to the South. And also they seek for protection for their members against security agents and all those extorting money from them. And they gave a 7-day ultimatum to that effect. And precisely on Thursday, the 25th day of February of 2021, they commenced a strike action, blocking all food, stuff, and cattle being delivered to the South. But eventually, on March the 3rd, that blockade came to an end, and foodstuff started trickling down back to the South. And that brings us to the big story for today, and we're talking about the blockade of food stuff to the South. We're talking about the gains and also the losses. And we do have a guest joining us on this lovely discussion. He's a public analyst and also a farmer in his own right. And we're talking of no other person but Dr. Charles Boki. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. I want to go quickly. Were you in any way surprised that the northern farmers took that decision to put a blockade to foodstuff coming to the South? And was there any need for that in the first place?
Okay. And before I answer that question, I want to state up front that there's too much anger in this country, and I don't want to contribute to the anger. There's too much loss of reason and reasoning. Statements that are made by elder statesmen like us are becoming too inflammatory, and common sense will deserve that people like us should bring down the anger and ensure that peace reigns in this nation. The first thing we must correct is that it wasn't northern farmers, northern cattle or whatever union that stopped food supply. Benue farmers are northern farmers. Plateau State farmers are northern farmers. It was only a section of people, because we must stop this regional categorization of action or religious categorization of action. It was only a group of farmers and food traders. So those individuals acted wrongly. I will come to that. But at the same time, they have a right to protest. We must always start respecting people's rights. But you see, it's a culmination of the following: impunity. Somebody, from the SARS and SARS, the policemen that were maltreating people, it was impunity. You were breaking the law by either killing people, throwing them in rivers, extorting money, using ATM to collect money. It was impunity. Nobody acted on time. The man that stabbed or killed somebody or used talisman to hit somebody at Sasa and subsequently died, well, he was acting out of the usual norm of northern leadership. They've lived with us in Otowe Bire here. They've lived with us in Hausa Quarter. We have not had crisis with them. I know places where you went to exchange money because the northerners were predominantly the exchangers. Bureau de change. And you had difficulty, and you reported such cases to the leadership of the northerners in that place, I'm using the word northerners now, or the traders, they would adjudicate and give you justice irrespective of where you come from. And so that man that just went and hit somebody was wrong.
At Shasha.
At Shasha. And then the tension was already too much. And no person, no leadership in this nation has effectively done anything to control this insanity. Religious leaders that are supposed to be moderators. You see, somebody went and told terrorists that it was Christian soldiers that were killing a group of people. But you see, I hope I'm correct.
Yes, Gumi did.
This is a medical doctor, a former soldier. The Nigerian army is one of the few institutions that still hold us together, that still bind us together. The chief of army staff or whatever, majority of the leadership in the military, as at the time that these battles were on, to a large extent, were from northern extraction. And these people were not only killing, they were not killing Christians alone, they were also killing northerners. They were killing Muslims. So that act is a symptom of the current insanity and stupidity that is plaguing the discourse in this nation. When you say you are Nigerian food growers and something amalgamation, did you consult your southern counterparts before you blockaded? Did you think about the consequences of your people here trading in your products? Did you think about the consequences of your people in barracks, in schools, and all that? Did you think of the consequences of a crazy young man from the south blocking pipelines and preventing oil from flowing to your region? Did you think of the consequences of somebody in Port Harcourt, the fertilizers you use to grow those crops are transported through Ugeli here from Port Harcourt? Did you think about the consequences of somebody blocking those trailers and not bringing fertilizers to you? Did you think of the consequences of an UVA boy preventing tankers and then somebody in Ogun State preventing tankers from bringing petroleum products to you? It's a culmination. I was listening to the calls that were coming in. It's a culmination of the division in the country and the lack of leadership to ameliorate this division and take firm and decisive actions and nip these issues in the bud. So that's my take for now. That is to say, it's a symptom. But let me quickly say this. My mother, I'm the last child, and I'm the only one remaining. I was very rascally and troublesome. I didn't used to go to school. And my mother will say, I'm not expecting anything from you. It's my eldest children that I'm expecting something from. But I took it as a challenge. That this woman that is not expecting anything from me, I will surprise her. Somebody said that Nigeria would divide in 2015 or thereabout. And if they've made such statement concerning us, it behoves the leadership of Nigeria from 2015 till date to make sure that prophecy or prediction does not come to pass. But we don't seem to be seeing it.
Okay, now, as much as you said that, now let's look at some of the reasons given for that blockade.
Yes.
Now, they gave like compensation for losses incurred during the NSAS and the Shasha crisis, which they claim to have lost 151 members during that crisis in itself. And they talked about the intimidation and extortion from security agencies, and also all those touts on the way from the north down to the south. Yes. And if you allow me, one of them said, before a truckload of cow from Adamawa gets to its destination, either in the southwest or the south-south or the southeast, the owner would have spent over 250,000 naira on extortion.
Yes.
So was, with the reasons they've given, does it hold water?
Yes. I will try to be as very fair. I went to a federal government college and I went to a federal university.
Okay.
So I am detribalized, to an extent de-regionalized.
Also.
For you to carry any product from any part of the country, particularly to the southern part of Nigeria, the extortion by policemen, extortion by touts, extortion by so in the south you'll be here, you'll be seeing a roadblock in front. You will see another roadblock in front. You see the extortion. I wanted to carry cement to my mother's village to build a school there. A local youth in my mother's village in Efronto prevented the Dangote trailer from discharging the cement at night, that I must have to pay 5,000 naira. I'm from there. I'm a prince. I am a respected elder. The youth prevented the Dangote trailer from dropping the cement. It's more prevalent in the south. But let's come to the compensation because of NSAS and killings. Number one, Fulani headsmen or headsmen have killed more people in the south than the Boko Haram war, than COVID has killed people. I don't know if I'm too correct with my statistics, but a lot of people have been displaced. A lot of farmlands have been destroyed. If they are part of farmers and food traders, why have they not protested before now about farmers being killed, about crops being destroyed, about yams being eaten, and women being raped? Why this sectional interest? During the NSAS protest, cars were burnt in Abuja. Car stands were burned in Abuja. I don't know who owned the cars. I don't want to go into that. Yeah. But did any person raise his voice that such people should be compensated? People were shot at Lekki. These traders, so-called traders, did they raise their voice about people being killed at Lekki? These people's school children have been kidnapped all over the north. Pastors kidnapped, Muslims kidnapped, traditional rulers kidnapped. Has that one bothered those traders before now for them to raise their voices to say we will not allow this to continue? Why this particular one? So it is a very parochial reason. It is a reason that does not have social justice apart from the extortion. The extortion on the road, I agree with them. The extortion is too much. Somebody is carrying cow. Is it contraband? Check whether he's carrying rifle or whatever, and allow him go. Check whether the cars have immunization papers and all that. Somebody is carrying tomatoes. Check whether there is whatever there. The increase in price eventually falls on us. Yeah. One way or the other. I hate the extortion on the roads. I detest it on the roads. These people are doing legitimate business, and we should allow free flow of traffic, check suspected vehicles, and allow them go.
Okay, Sam. Now, as much as you've said that, let's look at the blockade in itself.
Yes.
Was it truly felt in the south? Many would say it was really felt, and some would disagree. But indeed, we made investigations in all of this during the blockade in itself. Now, there was scarcity of meat and other food items in the markets in the south.
Yes.
And if you allow me, it really affected the prices of most of these foodstuffs and meat in the market. Now, for example, a bag of onion that was sold for 20,000 naira in cities like Abba, in Abia State, and also right here in Delta State, went to up as 5,000 naira to 40,000 naira. And a small meat of 500 naira we used to buy stood at 2,000 naira. So was the effect also felt down here in the south?
The effect was felt everywhere.
Okay.
And felt by every person. If meat became expensive, the maize suya, the man that does suya, bought it very expensively. And if suya is a secondary commodity that you don't eat for dinner, so the demand also fell.
Okay.
Are you following what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I went to the sheep market. I rear sheep. I went to the sheep market. I found out that the places were dry. They were not animals there, not enough. The people who were selling, who are also from the northern part of Nigeria, they lost revenue.
Of course.
I agree. But for somebody like me, I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything. I have chickens, I have eggs, I have fish in my tank. You understand what I'm saying? So, but the interviews I saw online, on air, from the Lagos area, was purposely done in such a way to stir up anger. The kind of people they were interviewing, as if people in the south were dying of hunger already. It wasn't as real as that. In fact, the real losers are those who blockaded the road.
Yes, I agree with you, because it was public knowledge that the North also suffered.
Not those,
especially the traders.
Let's talk about the traders now. Let's remove the word North, because as they were blockading, I was working with people from Benue State in my farm.
Okay.
So They were not even aware that there was something like that. I was working with them in my farm, and they are very good farmers. I was tapping into their skills. So you now find out that if they said they lost 8 billion from tomatoes in 2 weeks, 8 billion in 2 weeks, that's 4 billion per week, times 52 weeks, that's 208 billion. Are they paying taxes on the way? So we need to go back and review their tax payment. And if they made such losses, we didn't make such those people they were trying to deprive of food did not make such losses. So Nigeria, let me state this up front. We must see ourselves as coming from a polygamous home, and if this family is to remain one, we must respect each other. You cannot destroy people's forests. You cannot camp in people's forests, prevent them from growing food, then starve them of food. You cannot say that the oil in the south belongs to the whole of Nigeria, then the food in the north does not belong to us, even if we are paying. So we must also respect each other by not saying that all the land in the country belongs to one ethnic nationality. The land belongs to the indigenous of that place, even though the land use decree confers right of ownership on the government. As I'm talking to you now, go to my mother's town, Efronto. There are so many Northerners working there now, and they are living securely. So we must respect the fact that we are a family and live peacefully. If not, no part of this country can defeat any part of this country at war. No part of this country can starve any part of this country of anything without feeling the pain.
Also.
So no part of this country has a monopoly of violence. No part of this country owns the armed forces, the police, the navy, the customs, the paramilitary forces. No part of this country has the monopoly of the expertise of terrorism. So if we must live in this nation, those of us who have things to lose if this nation divides from the southwest, southeast, north, whatever, we should speak against irrational behaviors like what these traders did.
Okay, now, Sam, as much as we've seen that, and we also know the losses they incurred during this, because we could still remember, many said they were loading in Kano, they were loading as much as 35 to 40 trailers of tomatoes a day. Yes. But during the strike, being called by them themselves, they were loading as less than half a truck a day.
Yes.
But let's leave all of that and come to what most people are also saying. They said this is a wake-up call for governors from the south to have a rethink about how to revamp our farmlands and agriculture. How true is this?
Very, very true. Governance in southern Nigeria. You were talking about Ibori loot.
Yeah.
Let me just chip in something. You are saying the money does not belong to Delta State. But where did you are attaching the name of Ibori to the money? Where did Ibori get the money? It was during governance as a governor of Delta State. He was a rich man before he became governor. So he didn't steal his own money. So if the loot is when he was in governance and he was punished because of his thing, the people who he governed and the punishment he served, the reward for the people is that the money should be used for them. But we had cows in the south. 1922, Lord Lugard wrote in his book, The Dual Mandate, that it is because of the amalgamation that cows started coming to the south. So we had cows, in the east. Till today, people are still breeding them now. We had ponds, we had whatever. Onions grows in Evreni here. Honorable Samuel Mareri grows onions. John Bull, Pastor John Bull, grows onions in town, grows cabbage. I grew watermelon. I grew, what is it called? Cucumbers. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm rearing sheep. So it's a wake-up call. In Kenya, most families in the suburban areas, each has a cow, produces their own milk and butter. We can own that, and then this shakara will end. We should go into agriculture.
So are you saying as a farmer that all crops being grown in the north can also be grown in the south?
Listen, you can grow any crop in most places. With hydroponics, you can grow crops in this place. with whatever. You can grow crops on top of roof in Japan. You can grow crops in balconies. It's only this cattle rearing that we're even doing here. It's a primitive agricultural system that you are carrying a cow to trek. Our meat is so strong. The milk production per cow in Nigeria is 1 liter per day. The milk production in Saudi Arabia that even imported their cows, it is 30 liters per cow. Botswana has more cows than us per person. Brazil has more. Nigeria is not among the first 15 nations that breed cows. How come we are suffering more losses with cows? Modern agriculture, you can grow most crops, apart from big growing crops like palm trees and coconut and cocoa. You can grow most crops like vegetables within a controlled atmosphere. Everything can grow here. Bayelsa has one of the best soils for rice cultivation. What we are suffering from in the Niger Delta, in economics, is called the Dutch disease. Shell is from Holland. And when oil was discovered in the North Atlantic, we are in the South Atlantic, the same mass of water. Holland left agriculture, milk production and everything, and concentrated on oil. And their economy now went down. That is the cancer we have in the South. It is so sad that when you bring a northern boy to farm and you bring a delta boy to farm, the northern boy will do more ridges within a short time, earn his pay. The southern boy is holding his waist and is complaining. They will call this one a rubbish name instead of calling himself a lazy person. When they saw me carrying grass on my head, pushing wheelbarrow, they said I was suffering, that Dr. Boki is stressing himself. What stress is in farming? It's exercise. I look healthy, very healthy. I stay in the best hotels in this country. Our people are not ready to work.
Okay, well, as much as we get more of what you do on your own, let's just go for a quick break. And when we come back, well, this discussion will truly continue right here on Quest Today. Okay, you can now have your say, and we're talking about the northern blockade of food to the south. We still do have Dr. Charles Boki as our guest here. Before we went for that break, I asked you a question of how serious that seems to be when we talk about governors right here in the south in actually helping out to see if they can revamp agriculture. But I want us to look at this now. In the north, I grew up a bit in the north, just to be precise. And I grew up knowing that northern governors assist farmers in getting the inputs they want, the seedlings, fertilizer. They do all of these every farming season. But when you come down to the south, you rarely see that happen. Is this not why we are now seem to be at the backstage of we not actually having enough agricultural products right here in the south?
The governments in the south, the governors in particular, have not taken agriculture seriously. They are more interested in the revenue allocation from the federal account and appointing special assistants and senior special assistants instead of developing agriculture. Number two, you rightly said that governors in the north, they assist their citizenry in getting fertilizers, tractors. At the peak of this herdsmen crisis, they went and imported grass from Brazil. Wow. They went and imported grass from Brazil. So, to a large extent, and the very rich men in the north farm. Emirs farm, traditional rulers farm. Are you following what I'm saying? The rich men farm. Here we build hotels, we build petrol stations, and we do other things that I will not mention here. So, then let's come to the local governments. Ogeli here and some local governments in those days had tractors. They had extension offices, agricultural extension offices. I went to a local government in the south here, in Delta State. I saw broken down ridge makers, tractors, and I think that it will not take much for them to be reactivated. Then you come to the churches. The Marist brothers in Uturu. Uturu is where the Abia State University is. When I was importing fish meal from Pakistan, I was supplying the Marist brothers, which is a subsect of the priesthood in Catholic Church. They had a hatchery. Most of the day-old chicks in Uturu axis to Okigwe axis are produced by the Catholic Church, by the Marist brothers. They have tractors and a mechanic workshop. They had their poultry, Marist brothers. So I went to Sierra Leone. The Catholic Church has an agricultural extension unit. All these are our prayer camps that are empty throughout the year. If we put Gudala cows there, the Gudala cow gets pregnant for 9 months. We will reduce the dependence on cows. Lagos alone eats 8,000 cows a day. Times 100,000 naira, it's about 80 million, if I'm right, a day. Lagos State has one of the biggest pig cooperatives in Africa. They can also establish a cow production unit, poultry units. Yeah. Our state governments have not developed fishery in the south. We go to the southwest from Delta State to go and import fish and pork. We one organization I belong to, we just bought a big place now. We are going to be producing chickens every 12 weeks. We are going to rear animals. I just bought cassava grating, cassava peeling. I want to be producing gari massively. As I'm here now, they are frying gari for me.
I'll have a bag.
And I'm a medical doctor. So we must remove this toga of posing. Then number 3, our people are lazy. They don't want to work. I priced 1 acre for some boys here to clear. They said it was 100,000. How much cassava will I plant there? But I got this, my northern brothers who work with me. They cleared it at 1/3 that price. Did the ridges. I went to preach in somewhere, Port Harcourt. Before I came back, if you see the place they cleared, the place they cleared, within a short while, they did ridges. So if we are not ready to work, hunger go kill us. We go turn to slave. We go drink this oil, and the oil go purge us, and the money no dey even reach our mouth. So until we are ready to bend down to work, I gave some people place to clear. I paid them the 15,000. They refused to clear it. I gave another set a place to clear. They stamped on the grass down. They refused to work. So until we change our mentality from this oil wealth and concentrate on the land, the Bible says, if you are willing and obedient, you will eat the good of this land. We have an attitude towards farming that is, it looks like derogatory. I'm an intelligent person by any standard, but I farm. I use my jeep to carry manure. There's nothing in jeep. Now you both drive and buy and second hand. Why then buy monkey? They were making fun of me that jeep when we take the go meeting, when we take the post, now you take the carry manure. Now my motor, and they work for me. When I clean manure come out, I use and carry cassava come, do gari.
Okay, well, anyways. Well, we're talking about this cassava in itself. We do know during Obasanjo time, he made real emphasis on cassava.
Yes.
As we've had it almost put in most of our breads.
Yes.
But over time, we've seemed to, especially those from the south, seem to have jettisoned that idea. And now we're now concentrating with rice mill and farms that even seem to be more concentrated in the north.
Yes.
So is it that the mentality of most southern governors and the people has all changed? Rather than we stick with what we have and see how we can improve it on, we're rather shifting it and making those from the north take the advantage, take the initiative, and do well.
If you don't lock your door, thief enter. Now who you blame? If you don't wash your mouth, you smell. Now person will tell you say your mouth they smell. Now you blame. Now you will not wash your mouth. I've eaten cassava bread in Sierra Leone. The cassava leaf, I've eaten it as vegetable in Sierra Leone and Madagascar. The potatoes in Ohoro and Agadiama and all that. I went there to buy potato leaves recently from one town there, and planting now. The people produce potato chips. The government can enhance them. I did an entrepreneurship seminar for the state government at the government house. and I even still do a program on air sponsored by the state government. We should look for communities, what they are good at, the crops that grow well, and sponsor them. Go to Weru, Agadiama, and all those areas that produce potatoes and peanut, groundnut. Enhance them to produce more. Give them tractors. Provide security. The herdsmen that are even terrorizing us, they are not more than, if you gather all of them together in Delta State, they are not more than 3,000. And if we really want to chase them out of the forest, we can. Evans Iwurie was doing that in Abraka Axis, and they were running. So, produce peanut butter from Agadiama and Ogweru. Peanut butter. Export it. Gather them into cooperatives. The potato peels, use them to do animal feed. Encourage them to rear pigs. There's a lot of water in that area. Yes. Encourage them to rear goats. Encourage them to rear sheep. Then come to Agbara axis, Efunto axis, the flaring of the gas. My friend in Lagos ate popo gari when he came for a burial. He is still troubling me for me to bring popo gari to him. So the popo gari, we can produce popo gari here. Feniya Badere that they sell in the motor park there. Produce, you don't know it? I do. You do. Yeah. So you too, you do.
I tested it.
You tested it. Yeah. Feniya Badere, I've asked people in Lagos, Port Harcourt, several places I've been to. They have eaten Feniya Badere. It can be a meal that we can develop, advertise, and even turn this area to a tourist center. The Kene Festival, the Manoku Festival, we can turn them to tourists, and then you come and test Delta delicacy, Ogweri and Usi and all that. So, we are not economically minded. This oil money is a poison. And we just have leaders that don't think. There's so much money in the Niger Delta. Do you know a liter of palm oil? The people that stop food, they buy our palm oil. Do you know a liter of palm oil is more expensive than a liter of petrol? Yeah. That palm oil is more expensive than crude oil. And so, do you know that the money that the palm oil seedlings we gave to Malaysia, how many African nations, I think 50-something African nations, went to China to ask for $8 billion. But Malaysia makes close to about $8.6 billion from palm oil alone, palm produce. We have not talked of brooms. We don't produce toothpick, which we can produce. We've not talked about baskets. We've not talked about extracting palm wine from our palm trees, our raffia palm, turning it to methylated spirit. We've not talked about the palm oil itself, hydrogenating, bleaching it, it becomes cooking oil. You hydrogenate it, it becomes margarine. You take the same thing, saponify it, it becomes soap. You take the PKC, palm kernel oil, you produce detergent from it. It will produce glycerin as a byproduct. And so, I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know where they went to school. And I don't know whether they reason.
So, you feel it's time leaders and rulers from the South should sit down and brainstorm of how to bring mechanized farming and also bring the people back on board and see how we can really grow our economy?
Yes, we can. But we have an attitude. You see, even these Fulani headsmen or headsmen they are complaining about, you go stay inside forest. Your boy go your boy from this Edo state go stay inside forest. Abi, he go waka with cow from Ugeli to Warri. You know, go branch, drink monkey tail for corner. So we have an attitude of pride. We have an attitude of getting easily tired. We have an attitude of not being obedient to leadership. So, we have an attitude of over-enjoyment, hedonism. You die faster from enjoyment than from suffering. So, you go to our night clubs. Every night, you will see people. I wonder how they make money. They will sit down. They will buy champagne of 50,000, 100,000. They will use Undertaker music to bring it. Bam, bam. You see our young girls with bomb shots, with yellow hair, as if government distributed the yellow hair as palliative. None of them is... Go to the north, you stay there. Yeah. You will see everybody bending down to work until that attitude is changed. Go to Ogoloha, go to the riverine areas. It is Ghanaians that fish for us. Go there. You will see them when they are returning in the evening. Ghanaian flag is blowing in Our boys are not ready to fish. Even though the river is polluted, where are the Ghanaians getting fish from to come and sell to us? So we have an attitudinal problem. So let me come to that. Even if government decides to give us fertilizers, seedlings, and all that. I just finished speaking to Total on Monday for the International Women's Day. And I've been a regular resource person to Total. Yeah. When Total brings materials to give to, incentives to give to the people from the oil-producing communities where they are based, the man that supplied the materials to Total will be waiting a little distance from there with another trailer. Do you know our people will sell the welding machines, sell the hairdressing machines, sell everything back to the man at about 1/3 the price, I mean half the price or less than the price, and the man will carry them back. And then the next day we'll go and block the gate of oil company. The oil companies are not treating us well, but we also need to have an attitude to ourselves. We need to have a right attitude. Go to the just-speaking areas of our state. You see our native cows there. I went to speak to the community, Zigborodo community. I stayed in 911 hotel, across the water to that side. If you see their native cows in Borodo, in Ogoloha area, in several parts of this southern Delta state, you will be amazed how much we can make from our native cows that Sesefly does not kill. So, when people become president generals, I did a seminar, MPDC called me to do a seminar on alternative sources of revenue for our communities. Just past Owo this morning now, you will see sheep by the road, the old road. They are owned by the community. If you go to a front owner, you will see goats all over. They are owned by the community. If you go to Ogara, as you are going to Ogara, you are going to Abraka, I went there to look for sheep to buy. There are communities that reared sheep in those days to build projects, to do things. We can establish farms for animals and whatever in our communities instead of only waiting for shell money, oil money to share. We need to change our mindset. Leadership in this, local government chairman can have local government farms. But the problem is that when you rear the birds, the worker that will go there, he will say it is workshop. He will strangle the chicken, put in inside polythene, even with their own private poultries. They sell our product without letting us know. They will strangle the chicken, put the chicken inside polythene bag, put a poultry manure in it that they are going to throw it away, and then throw it away and give it to somebody over the fence. You see, that Otoyo area where the Northerners stay, have you heard any of them stealing from each other? The place you buy dollars there and buy wristwatches, you see the shop is open, money is there. Have you seen them stealing from each other? We have an attitudinal problem. Let's not blame whoever blocked food against us. Let's blame our stupidity, our docility, and our not thinking futuristically. Both church, local government, state government. Blame our representatives who are out there, though this sect has done very well. They brought schools to communities, brought transformers, brought that, and this set of representatives have done well.
Okay, well, anyways, we've had a really robust discussion on this, but it's time we open up the line and have you also call in and make your contributions to what we're talking about. We're talking about that blockade of foodstuff and cattle from the north. Is it another time for us to rethink and have a different approach to all
Hello.
This? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mike. And I would like to salute Doctor. Our doctor has said a lot. What do I have to say? What do I have to add? The only thing I will say to Doctor is, may God bless you, sir.
Amen.
I just hope that our people will listen. In Ghana here, there is no extortion. This is where my dad comes from, and my mom is from Nigeria. There is no extortion. They respect the security on the road, respect every motorist. The extortion here is not common, and when they catch you, my brother, you will go in for it. I pray a time will come. Even tomorrow, sir, I pray for it. That oil, that crude oil should dry up in the time south. So that we will go back to oil, planting of, what do they call it, palm oil, cocoa, cassava. Was Nigeria not the biggest producer of cassava? You can use cassava product, let me just say, the export products to brew beer, beverages,
yes,
starch, and so many things.
Blue.
What are we doing with it? I pray that the oil will vanish tomorrow so that we will know that God did not put us there just to focus on oil. That oil has destroyed our farmland. Those oil has destroyed the mining of oil, the exploration of oil has destroyed the south, and southeast. In some places in the element, you cannot put cassava on the ground. I was in Bakassi. If you look at the fighting against Cameroon under the Nigerian army, you see the pollution on the water. You see the film of oil on water, preventing our people in the area there from fishing. I pray that oil will vanish. God bless you, sir.
Well, thank you also, Maxwell, but we'll just pray it doesn't vanish now.
We
need it to power our station.
Listen to what will happen.
Yeah.
Coal in Enugu, is somebody mining it?
No.
Coal became extinct. There are solar-powered cars, hydrogen-driven cars, electric cars, 20-something. Most of these fossil fuels will phase off. So even if it doesn't dry up, it will become virtually useless in the sense that the price of production will be more than the price of... let's listen, the American reserve of oil will last them a very long time. Oil production in Saudi Arabia and in the Middle East is $8 per gallon. Per barrel. Here, because of criminality, corruption, and theft and all that, you will see that our cost of production is very high, that if the price of oil goes less than $18, we'll be making losses. So, without oil drying up, think ahead.
Okay, let's go to the calls and have who will also think ahead and give us some explanation or comments to what we're talking about. Hello? Hello?
Hello. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Good morning. I'm Abraham calling from Benue.
Oh, from Benue. Abraham, please go ahead.
If not that the doctor is around, I said I will not call again. Have you read this story written by George Owen, the popular one?
Animal Farm?
Animal Farm.
Yes.
Yes. Why did Napoleon call snowball a trigger? Okay, just contrast that story with this scenario. Then you will understand what Nigeria is. They are recolonizing us. But no problem. If you are from here, in West State here, you must pass through Boki. Or you take the road of Enugu, Anambra, Oka, then Asaba. Or you come and take through Murtala Mohammed. The extortion is too much. I'm a transporter. And the first time that I carried this perishable book, I was supposed to go to Akure, but because of the price, in Akure we have to turn through I was thinking that maybe it's all these Agbo people that used to hold vehicles. But Kogi State own is too much. Inside one state, you have to buy this emblem more than 5 times, which I have my own emblem. And so I will continue paying for produce again. 500, 500, 500, 500 until I come to Fulani shop. Agbo will start their own. That is too much. The extortion is too much. And so that day I said I no go carry perishable again. My vehicle is for people. If your place there, because I look at the land, have land that can produce anything. It's not that I just abandon that on our side because of those Agbo boys. Onutubo has no problem. But from Agbo, if they look, if they Lataba, hi, they are problem too much. For carry Irish potato, can't give them, I'm not going to try and then. There is nothing that your man cannot produce. This blockade is their family and friends. That's why I use that scenario of animal farm. Yes. You ask why you are a terrorist. So that is it. So you people should wake up and help yourself.
Well, thank you, Abraham.
This extortion, I went to do missionary work in a Boki local government area. It's close to the Cameroonian border. You need to see bananas along the road. You need to see cocoa. You need to see vegetables. Okondi Junction, you will see vegetables. Boki is the Garden of Eden of Nigeria. But from Boki to Onitsha, you will see nails and plants across the road. So I was wondering how much these produce sellers make. How much do these vegetable sellers make? You see, they are awake throughout the night, stopping these vehicles. So I'm so sad about this extortion.
Well, anyways, we just really want to thank you. We're really out of time, and we really do thank you for bringing your insight into it. That's why we had to bring you here. We know you're a doctor, but also a good farmer, and having your insight on this issue really, truly helped. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, well, that wraps the show up.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We will kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you and remain blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.